What is happening, YouTube? Efficient in the Field is in town on a town day. But I'm going to knock out a video for you all. We're going to talk about the Trump assassination attempt. You are going to hear some vehicles and some people occasionally. I'm actually out front of my wife's acupuncturist right now. She's in there getting stabbed with needles. So I might as well put my time to good use before I get into the Trump assassination attempt. And guys, you're going to want to watch this video. For those of you that don't know, I worked in anti-assassination for 5 years. All right, 2 of it is management. Does that make me a master when it comes to how the Secret Service totally shit the bed on all this and what they should have done? No. It makes me an expert in the field, though. All right, I did it for a living. I put in a ton of hours during that time. Probably the equivalent to working for 8-9 years in most other fields. All right. So yes, I am an expert. And you're going to want to hear what I have to say, my breakdown on it. But before I get into that, I'm going to address me covering news and things that I think survivalists and preppers should be aware of on the channel. I just did a video not long ago about illegal immigration. And I got a comment from some clown. I think he called himself the Prompt Wizard or something like that. I'll put his comment down below. And guys, I'm going off of memory, so I'm not actually reading what he said. He didn't like my video and made a comment along the lines of, wow, great prepper channel, just went to crap or something with tinfoil hat, right wing, conspiracy theory, lunacy, unsubbed. Something like that, right, dudes? Let's address that really, really quick. As a survivalist and a prepper, you should absolutely be staying on top of the news every single day. And you need to be following good news. News that's going to be legit, right? I got a grasshopper in here that I think keeps crawling up my leg, but news that's accurate. Not mainstream media, dudes. That shit is lying to you, and I'll get around to that in a second, okay? But the stuff that I decide to talk about on this channel, I've been watching it. I actually read and watch anywhere from 2 to 3 hours of news a day. And I have been doing this for years and years and years. And why do I do that, pimps? It's because that's how you're going to see what's coming. That's how, in the opening days of shit hit the fan, you're going to buy yourself that little bit of extra time to bug out before the masses, let's say. Or to get that little bit of extra shit done before everything flies to hell in a handbasket. So we absolutely need to be paying attention to that stuff. So this isn't tinfoil hat, and that video wasn't either. There's actually more than 10 million people that have entered this country in the last 3.5 years and were not vetted. It could be as high as 20. We don't even really know exactly how many it is. But it is a shit ton of people. So there's nothing tinfoil about it. There's nothing right-wing about it. I'm a libertarian, as a matter of fact. And conspiracy is a real thing. A real quick story, dudes. Once upon a time, I caught 2 guys that broke into my pickup truck. I trapped one of them there. The other one ran. And the guy that I trapped, he wanted to fight. I whooped his ass. He was crying by the time the cops showed up. And they caught the other guy as well. And what did they charge them with? Well, they charged them with breaking into my truck. But they also charged both of them with conspiracy. What conspiracy really means, and I know it has negative connotations in the way in which this guy used the term, right? Nobody wants to be labeled a conspiracy theorist, right? Like the theory that there's conspiracies. Let me just put it to you like this. Conspiracy is people working together to achieve a goal. That's what it is. And oftentimes it's used to mean that people are working outside of the law to achieve a goal. All right? You would have to be a complete idiot to think that there are not people working in this government or in governments around the world to achieve goals that you aren't aware of. You would have to be an idiot to believe that. So I'm not a conspiracy theorist, I am a realist. Lastly, lunacy. Lunacy would be not paying attention and not wanting to listen or be willing to listen to differing views. And people like me that actually really pay attention to everything that's going on every day for years. All right, so prompt wizard, good riddance. Go follow a channel that's going to tell you what you want to hear, because that's going to get you ready for shit hit the fan. All right, let's get after this assassination attempt, guys. It's been a number of days since it went down. You'd think that we'd have some more reliable information on what actually happened, but we don't, right? So what does that tell you? How good of a job are they doing with this investigation? Let me give you an example. 5 to 8 shots were fired. They still don't know exactly how many shots were fired. It's not hard to count brass, guys. It's not hard, right? Even if they rolled off the rooftop. It's not going to be hard to have the right dog come through and sniff that shit out so you have every single case accounted for. You know what I'm saying? They're not even sure exactly how far he was from the target. I've heard 140 yards up to 163 yards. It's not hard to take a laser rangefinder and measure from the peak of the rooftop to the podium that Trump was standing behind. Like, come on, guys. Like, who is doing this investigation? The same people that were protecting the president? Probably, right? Well, I guess the FBI is supposed to be getting involved as well, but just shit in the bed so far. And shit in the bed on the protection for the president. Let's get after that, guys. Let's talk about it. What went wrong? Every damn thing went wrong. Let me explain to you guys what an advance is and how this works. At an event like this, I would have expected the Secret Service to have been there at least 3 days prior to the event. What you do is you send an advance team. They get out there, they look the entire place over, they make sure that there's not going to be any uncovered roofs like this one that some guy can get up on and take shots at the president from, right? That's their entire goal. Their goal is to make sure that they have the entire place secured, that they know where they're going to have their different units, where they know where they're going to put in their sniper team. You know, they do all this shit way in advance, guys, so that there are no errors that can be made. So what went wrong with this advance? Well, a lot of things, obviously, and I've come to the conclusion that there's only one of two answers, and possibly both, that can explain what happened that day. The first one is that these agents were completely incompetent. Completely incompetent. They failed to do their job for an ex-president that probably has gotten more death threats and hate mail than anybody that has ever lived. Okay, so total incompetence for one. And the second possibility is that they allowed this to happen. Trump has been making statements over the past number of months saying that he is going to basically root out any corruption, anybody that was involved in anything bad. Doesn't matter if you're in the pharmaceutical companies, doesn't matter if you're in the FBI, doesn't matter if you're in the CIA, all that shit. Saying these kinds of things is very likely to get you targeted in this exact way. Right, guys? Look at Kennedy. He was talking about the bankers. You know, he was talking about the bankers and he was going to make moves on them. Pow! Dead. So it just wouldn't surprise me if the Secret Service actually allowed this to occur, that somebody in the chain of command there let this happen. It also appears that the only full-time agent was the guy running the detail, or the gal. I'm not sure if it's a guy or a gal. Apparently the rest of the agents were part-timers. Another fail. Let's get into when the shooting actually started. You got Trump up there on the podium. He's talking. He's looking at some chart and pointing at it and turns his head and pow. And dudes, I saw the video like 2 minutes after it was posted. And right away I showed it to my wife and I'm like, he got grazed on the side of the face. Like, this was an assassination attempt. And it sounded like an AR-15 to me. In 5.56, that's what it sounded like. So boom, right on both counts. He gets shot. It took the Secret Service way too long to get up there and to get to him. And they really, really shit the bed by leaving him up there on the stage. For whatever reason, the shooter stopped firing after he'd fired those 5 to 8 rounds. We don't know why. What was it? You know, did he have a malfunction? It is an AR-15 after all, and the guy seems kind of like a clown, like he didn't really know what he's doing. Like, this is the guy. Apparently, he was kicked out of some marksman team because he sucks at shooting things. You know, but this was the dude that tried to get this done. At any rate, he's ripping off rounds. He ceases fire, not because he was shot by the Secret Service sniper team, but just because he ceased firing. The agents get up there, surround Trump, and do not remove him from the stage. He was up there for quite a while before the sniper team actually engaged the sniper and took him out. Dude's probably up there doing sports, man. Like trying to get his AR up and running again. And if he had it up and running, why didn't he just continue firing into the agents around the president and at the president? He could have killed him. Here's how this goes, guys. Having been a protector, all right? When those shots start going off, you're not the president anymore. I'm in charge now. I'm in charge. I don't give a shit if you want to stay on the stage. You're leaving. I would have dragged his ass. You can't really drag him. You got to push him because you got to block the shots from the assassin, the would-be assassin, right? But you can grab people by their belts, pick them right up, dudes. This is the kind of shit we train for. He is going to the motorcade and getting in an armored vehicle whether he wants to or not. He can fire me when it's all over, but guess what? His ass is alive. And that's a protector's job, to take over during these kinds of situations and protect their client. Total fail. Absolute 100% fail across the board for those agents to leave him up there on the stage while this was going on. Let's look at the agent selection real quick. You had 2 women on this detail that are like up to here when compared to Trump. They're just not that tall. You do not put little people on body coverage for a reason, guys, because they're just not tall enough to block the target, man. You don't. You put big dudes on body coverage. Another fail by the Secret Service. Let's talk about the director of the Secret Service real quick, because it appears that she's more interested in DEI hires than she is in making sure that the Secret Service has good agents that can get their jobs done. She apparently wants 30% of the Secret Service to be female by 2030. And look, she's a DEI hire herself, right? Let's be honest, guys. Biden got into office, DEI hired pretty much across the board. Right? If you're a normal white dude, man, you're out. You know what I mean? You've got to be gay, you've got to be trans, or you've got to be, you know, whatever else it is. DEI hires across the board. This is what you get with a DEI hire. You get more DEI hires and you get failures. I always run this scenario past my kids to kind of break this down for them. So I'm going to do it for y'all right now, even though this video isn't about DEI hires. Let's say you have an apartment on the 5th floor of an apartment building, and the whole damn building catches on fire and you can't get out because there's fire in the hallway and all that kinds of shit, right? Who do you want climbing that ladder and going through the window, or coming up the staircases filled with smoke to kick your door down? Who do you want showing up? Do you want the baddest son of a bitch for the job? Do you want some just jacked dude who's like a 3rd-generation firefighter and lives for this shit and that is it? Do you want him showing up to your door? Or do you want some guy that applied for the job and got it because of affirmative action? Or a DEI hire? Who do you want showing up to kick down your door and carry your unconscious ass back down those stairs? You want the baddest son of a bitch for the job. That's what you want, guys. Well, we've gotten past that. This administration just really doesn't make any sense to me in a lot of ways, dudes. It doesn't. It doesn't. I'm lost. If you're on the far left, man, please explain it to me. Please. Let's talk more about the far left's response to this. It's very telling, and as a survivalist and a prepper, this is something you should be paying attention to. These people are the actual lunatics. How many people on the very far left have posted videos to social media saying shit like, why didn't we send a better shooter? Or, we were so close. Almost got it, guys. You know, that kind of shit. It's sick. It's sick. Like, what exactly did Trump do to all y'all? I don't understand it, man. I don't understand. I'm a libertarian, like I said. I'm not a Republican, but I don't understand it. What did he do? Give you cheap gas prices? Were they too cheap? Would you rather pay more like you did under Biden? I know they're lower now, but they're still not as low as they were. What did he do? Give tax cuts to rich people that, you know, own huge businesses and make thousands of jobs? Is that what rubbed you the wrong way? Was it the mean tweets? Too many mean tweets? What is it? I don't understand it. Is it that y'all have your head up your ass and you listen to the mainstream media that is just blowing smoke? Like totally up your butts? That's why you don't like them? Because you were told to? What is it? Please comments down below if you're from the far left, man. Help me understand this. And let's talk about the mainstream media real quick. None of y'all should be listening to these clowns anymore. You shouldn't be listening to these clowns. Because these are the people for the last 3.5 years that have been telling you how competent Biden is. Just all the time praising him. He is so great. He is the best president ever. Even though if you just watch the guy talk for 15 minutes, you know there are some serious issues with him and his health. You know, you don't even have to be a doctor to tell, man. You know? These same mainstream media people did a complete about face and are throwing Biden under the bus now after the debates. What changed? You know what changed, guys? Their handlers told them it's time to throw them under the bus. These people have no moral compass. They are liars, cheats, and doing exactly what they're told to do. Don't listen to the mainstream media, guys. Find alternate sources. So why is it important for us to dissect this thing as survivalists and preppers and to talk about it on the channel? Well, my own thoughts on it personally, guys, is that an attempted assassination or a successful assassination of Trump is one of the straws that could break the camel's back when it comes to civil war. There are so many people on the right that absolutely love this guy. I'll be honest, a lot of them, in my opinion, love him too much, okay? But that's just the truth of it. And, you know, the right's got all the guns and grows all the food. There's been gas that's been getting dumped all over the West for years now, but a lot of gas in the last few years. And is this the match that's going to set that whole thing on fire? Pay attention now, right? Because if it's going to happen because of this incident, it's going to happen in the next 2 to 3 weeks. If it doesn't go up in flames, guys, and there's a good chance it's not, like this is all conjecture, right? I don't know. I don't know if everything's going to fall apart as a result of this and we're going to see this civil war kick off or not. But right now is the time to pay attention more than you've been paying attention. All right? You need to really be watching the news. Do what I do, guys. You don't need to spend 2 to 3 hours a day, but make sure you're checking the headlines multiple times a day. Morning, midday, evening. At least check the headlines. Stay plugged in a bit. It's going to buy you that little bit of extra time if shit starts to go totally crazy. All right, dudes. Only time is going to tell, though, if this was the actual match or if this was just a lot more gas. This isn't going to go away. It is going to galvanize the right even more and make them dig in their heels even more. I suspect it is going to result in a shit ton of donations to the Trump campaign and is going to add up to more votes to the Trump campaign, which is more likely to secure his win in this election coming up here in 2024. And what does that mean? That means the left is absolutely going to lose their shit. So any which way you look at it, this is more gas on the fire. We're going to see riots all over the place. We're going to see buildings getting burnt down, the whole 9 yards. That's what's going to happen, guys. The left is going to throw a temper tantrum. You know, they're going to go crazy if Trump wins again. So look for it. And just because the guy gets elected doesn't mean there won't be another attempt on his life. I think we could surely see the possibilities of a second attempt, third attempt, who knows, either before the elections or after them. You know what I'm saying, guys? This right here, this entire incident should just highlight for you how important it is to get your shit squared away as fast as you reasonably can. So that's really what we're covering on the channel, man. Make sure you are stepping on the gas when it comes to your preps. Make sure you're paying attention. Hopefully this won't be the straw that broke the camel's back. And you'll be all right. It'll give you that little bit of extra time to get those last things done before everything falls apart, if this takes us there. All right, guys? I hope you all like the content. What do you guys think about me covering current events to a degree on the channel? All right, I'd like to hear it down below. Give me some comments. What do you guys think about the assassination attempt? Where are you at with it? Do you think it's going to happen again? Let's make it a conversation. Make sure you like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel. Dudes, even if you have that little alert bell turned on, you're going to have to check back with the channel every once in a while to see if I have any new content. People with the alert symbol, they're still not getting notified that I'm, you know, knocking out videos because this platform hates my guts. It's run by Google, right, guys? It's owned by them, and they want you listening to mainstream media. They want you to be the prompt wizard. They want you to unsub from channels like this, channels that are gonna provoke thought and encourage you getting ready for hard times. Check out my Patreon link in the description. This is also a good time for me to throw out a very public thank you to Q, one of my patrons. Dudes, he's sprung for a video editing laptop for the channel. It is going to be a game changer going down the road because, guys, I couldn't even edit time-lapse from the GoPro on my phone. I can do that now. I can do 4K. It's going to be a game changer, and I'm looking at getting a drone and a cinematic camera down the road. So we're looking at big things, guys. I hope you'll be there and join me for it. I'll let y'all go. See you in the next video.